Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hyunjae Cho, First Vice Minister of Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism. This morning, our Minister, Yoo Jin-young, and Chairman Eric Schmidt came together, meaning that Google and the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism have come together this morning to discuss ways to globalize or introduce Korean culture into the world stage. And here we are here in Kunsthalle Platoon to discuss Korean culture and the internet. And at this venue, we'll be able to bring experts from various fields to have a very meaningful discussion about the Korean culture and the internet. I am so pleased to see so many people here today at this very significant event. And I want to thank Ted Cho, Engineering Director of Google Korea, as well as Amit Sood, Director of Google Cultural Institute, and as well as Hyunjae Kim and Emmanuel Pastrich, as well as the producer of KBS, Hyunjun Kim, our panelists who are here today. I think that we're going to have a very meaningful event following a very successful Big Tent last year here in Seoul. This year, we are cooperating very closely with Google to introduce Korean culture to the world. And as we have here in this Kunsthalle, the Big Tent, the event venue is also playing a very significant role because we live in a borderless society. And so the Google Big Tent clearly shows that the world comes together in this one single huge tent. And we have cultural diversity. But at the same time, we also can recognize the unique cultural aspects of individual regions and areas. President Park's administration has emphasized the importance of creating the creative economy, and one of the top agenda items for the nation is really to promote the development of Korean culture and Korean cultural contents. As a result, we want to make sure that we're able to introduce a renaissance of Korean culture into this age and to really recognize the value of Korean culture, not just within the borders of Korea, but beyond the borders of Korea as well, so that we're able to have greater exchanges with the world in terms of cultural contents exchange, and for us to recognize and value cultural diversity of the world, and to do this offline and online as well. And so this is what we really are talking about when we are trying to use the term convergence of Korean culture with the world. And with the creative economy, we clearly have very strong potential with the Korean cultural contents, and by working with Google, we are able to even develop this initiative even further. We will be discussing various opportunities and challenges that we will be facing, and it's very important how we're able to overcome these hurdles and what these hurdles are will be looked at this afternoon. And thus, we can talk about Korean cultural contents facing challenges, lack of diversity, inefficient protection of IPR, also the relationship between large conglomerates and SMEs. This morning, we met with Eric Schmidt, chairman of Google, to discuss ways to better cooperate between Korea and Google. And we were talking about developing a very healthy ecosystem of cooperation. And the leaders of that met this morning show commitment to support this initiative. Korea has rich cultural contents, which is based on creativity and which is full of rich and diverse ideas. And we also want to make sure that we're able to commercialize the contents going forward. And thus we have the Contents Korea Lab, which will open May next year. And with that in mind, I would like to close my remarks, and I would like to end by congratulating the opening of this Big Tent event hosted by Google. And I hope that we have a very productive dialogue this afternoon. And I hope that you all have a very meaningful time here this afternoon. Thank you.